my name is Cal Everett. I'm the president and CEO of Liberty Gold, and Liberty Gold is focused on oxide gold in the Great Basin, namely our Black Pine project in southern Idaho and our Gold Strike oxide gold deposit in southwest Utah. As is normal, I will be making forward-looking statements, so please read the disclosure page if you have time to read through it all. And we're only focused in the Great Basin, which is a Tier 1 jurisdiction. And it accounts for around 75% of America's actual physical gold production. And the Carlin-type sedimentary hosted oxide gold system are world famous for the amount of gold that they have produced, the scale of these deposits, and they're relatively cheap to build. And it's really, once you're mining these things, an earth-moving operation, and then you heap leach the gold out of the rocks. The two large oxide gold projects, Black Pine and Idaho, we own 100% of Black Pine. We own 100% and control 100% of Gold Strike. The Black Pine project only has a 0.5% royalty burden on it. Gold Strike in Utah has, on average, a 2.5% royalty burden. Using a 0.2 gram cutoff, the historical resource was around 2,150,000 ounces, of most of which was measured and indicated. And some of the ounces we're converting it from inferred into indicated now. Originally, it was a 14 square kilometer single oxide gold target that spread over a massive footprint. And we've now, in the last year, successfully doubled that to approximately 28 square kilometers, which will need extra permitting to target some of these new areas. At Gold Strike, it's approximately 1.2 million ounces of oxide gold. And again, that's a 22 square kilometer drill confirmed target area. Both projects are past producing. They came with a tremendous database. And for us to start working on these, it usually takes us 2 years of mapping, redigitizing, and figure them out before we drill our first holes. So when it comes to Great Basin proper, we're over 3.2 million ounces now. We can easily show now that we think we're going to get in the geological potential sooner than later of 5 million oxide ounces. And I think you'll see after this presentation that the Black Pine discovery is working its way towards being the largest unmined oxide gold deposit in the Great Basin. So the path forward this year and going into next year, it's focused on de-risking, permitting, open pit oxide gold ounces, and pivoting from discovery to develop, but still maintaining a heavy exploration exposure given the amount of undrilled area still remaining at Black Pine. We hope to complete our water acquisition by the end of this year, and that means all processed water would have been secured. That would handle up to 100,000 ton per day operation. Complete metallurgical column testing by the middle of next year, and that should be taking us close to feasibility level metallurgy. And then once we see what the new resource is going to be, probably Q1 next year, then we'll make an economic study decision whether we don't even look at a PEA and start approaching it on a PFS basis right out of the gate. Gold Strike will be updating that resource, and we're de-risking ahead of a pre-feasibility study. And now we're just focused on baseline studies and rock geochemistry, water supply, community relations. And we're waiting for approval from the education group of who are going to take over monitoring that project in Utah. It's called SITLA, and that means once we get approval from the U.S. government, we avoid the NEPA process and save 1.5 years of permitting timeline. And this is the heap leach comparables. It's an excellent slide, and it just shows you where Black Pine and Gold Strike slide right in the mix between Bald Mountain, Mesquite, Castle Mountain, Marigold, Round Mountain, and the Pan Mine, and shows you the grades of all these deposits. It shows you the gold recovery percent. And when people start saying these things are tremendously low grade, yeah, they're low grade, but they're super high margin. And it's all because of the cost, and way cheaper to build one of these things than a milling scenario. Shares outstanding, 317 million shares. Working capital as of August 12th, was 30.3 million US. We hope to finish this year with 16 to 17 million US still in our treasury, so we're highly funded and fully funded. Management and insiders own 7.2% of this company, which is high for a capital structure of this. Newmont owns 4.3%, and we count 41% ownership from institutions and senior funds in North America and Europe. ESG framework, I'm not going to go through this in extreme detail because last week we put out our full 2021 ESG report, and it takes, if you have time to read it, it's a great document because it'll take you down to micro detail of what we're doing on site for both projects, and also it includes our ownership position on our last project in Turkey, and it tells you how we handle things right down to a level of minutia and things we do that we're not even required to do. This is a claim map of the Black Pine project. What's permitted is in black, and that's approximately 10.6 square kilometers. The permit area is now covering 24 square kilometers. There's power to site, no timber values, no water in the mineralized area, so we're always going to be theoretically mining above the water table, no fish-bearing streams anywhere near this, no threatened nor endangered species, and groundwater in the basin, and we're working on securing 100% of our process water. And this is just a massive scaled image of what's permitted so far. And going northwest to southeast, that long line is 7 kilometers long. If we go from southwest to northeast, that's 4 kilometers long. And you can see where the drilling is. And last year, where it shows in the upper long section range front, we've drilled well over 100 holes into that. And that's a look-alike type discovery as the discovery zone and the CD zone. And now you can see where we're crossing this thing, and then that land's going to get larger. And this is where the de-risking part of the slide is. I'm really going to focus on the fourth point. We've now successfully linked the F zone to the discovery zone and the CD extension, so it now is coalescing into one zone. There's a 750-meter long linkage. We just announced assay results that were higher than average grade for the deposit and at or near surface. There's 4 drills on this property right now. They're all on different targets. One's on the back range, one's on the M zone, one's in the F zone, and one's down in the southern range front. And all these ovoids are where we still have to go and start filling in these gaps. So we've linked discovery to the range front. Now we're trying to link E zone to the discovery. The 2 pits at the pit targets or resources at the M zone, linking them together and joining them with the Tallman pit, trying to bring the back range and connect it to the discovery zone and expand outwards in the open areas of the range front, which includes drilling under the historical heap leach pad, where an initial visual work says that the historical mining operation actually built the heap leach pad on top of the deposit. This is what it looks like on the current permitted phase. And where it says red on those 2 cross sections, these are long sections across the discovery focus area, that average is 1.04 grams gold. Anything in yellow or orange is 0.1 to 0.49 grams gold. And you can see when you have a lower cutoff grade, the amount of earth moving is massive, but the amount of stripping is minimal. It looks like it goes well below 1 to 1. And so the question is, do you move that material and leach it and get that cash flow? Or do you put it on a waste dump? And all of our indications are now that you absolutely should be considering it as a mining scenario and a massive earth moving operation. This shows the range front focus area. This is the new discovery. You can see some of the drill results. And it just keeps getting bigger, and anything in purple is over 1 gram. And that's the high grade material, but some of the material has to be stripped down on top of it where there's no grade. But anything that's in yellow and to purple, that material is all looks like it's going to be destined for a heap leach pad. And this is the linkage between the CD pit and the F zone. You can see what we just discovered, and that was recently announced. You can see where the grades are in the high oxide gold grades, and we're currently testing another approximately 50 or 60 meters of that, filling in those gaps and trying to take these ounces to measured and indicated to be included in a resource estimate later on this year. Metallurgy, We've done 4 phases of metallurgy. You get approximately 80% of your extractable gold comes out of these rocks in a simple dump run-of-mine heap leach scenario within 10 days, 10 days, 2 weeks. So it's right where we want it. The Black Pine summary, potential for plus 5 million ounces. That's clear and easy to see. 4 drills active. Resource update will include another 750,000 feet of drilling, hopefully early next year. Water supply is virtually all secured. Low risk environmentally, and MET is progressing to feasibility stage and strong community support. And this is just a simple slide on the other deposit, Goldstrike. And it's got potential for a couple million ounces, but it does nowhere has the scale of oxidation and with gold mineralization that Black Pine does. We've drilled approximately 125,000 meters of drilling. Another resource estimate is going to be put together here, or probably early in the new year, not Q4. And we're looking for water supply options right now and dealing with the state of Utah government on helping us advance this thing to a production decision. And these are the corporate highlights, and I think we've covered that already, and I thank you for your time.